The Soccer Fast Footworks Drills video is brought to you by Marty and the Youth Sports Club. Soccer Fast Footwork Drills stresses some of the most creative individualized offensive skills of the game, such as basic and advanced footwork drills for shaking defenders and developing ball control, which will lead to more team scoring opportunities in games. Many of the drills in this video are used by some of the best players in the world, but are also just as applicable for youth athletes as well. Most of these drills do not require an entire team to practice and can be also performed in a confined area. Parents and coaches are encouraged to be creative and should change any of these drills or create their own to make practices fun for the individual. As always, Marty and the Youth Sports Club emphasize improve as individuals, improve as a team, and have fun. The drills in this video have a natural progression. First, we'll see basic footwork skills. Then we'll see many of those same footwork skills performed with a change of direction, a lateral movement, a hesitation dribble, and lastly, in a 1v1 against a defender, as we approach simulating game-like situations with these challenging footwork moves. Basic footwork skills. 1. Foundation. Foundation is a great beginner's footwork drill that can be practiced by oneself or with an entire team. Here, a player taps the ball back and forth between his feet. Players should have their heads and knees up when performing all of the basic footwork skills. Foundation, as well as all of the footwork drills illustrated in this video, can be rehearsed in a stationary position or while moving forwards or backwards. This beginner's drill is great for conditioning and better ball control. 2. Alternating touches. In this footwork skill, players alternate stepping on top of the ball as they push the ball forward with the soles of their feet. It is extremely important in this drill for players to keep their knees up because it forces them to stay over the ball for better ball control. 3. Scissor.
Scissor, tap outside the foot, step, scissor, tap.
The scissor is a very popular move in soccer. In this drill, a player sweeps the foot nearest to the ball over and around the front of the ball as if cutting the grass, and then taps the ball away from the body with the outside of the opposite foot. Beginning players can first do this move slowly, and then start to build up speed. 4. Step over. The step over is similar to the scissor. However, instead of stepping over the ball with the near foot, players step over the ball with the far foot. Steady balance is crucial in the step over. If players are uncomfortable performing this move while in motion, they can start out by practicing the leg movements over a stationary ball. 5. Drag. This drill can also begin in one place before progressing to adding basic lateral movement to the move. When performing the drag, players push the ball under their body and between their feet, as if they were dragging the ball from one foot to the other. A key in this move is for players to try to move the ball with a big hop. In game situations, players do not want to perform the drag and have the ball stay in one spot. Therefore, it is beneficial to practice adding movement so that it simulates evading defenders in games. 6. Push-pull. Beginning players can practice the push-pull with their dominant foot. In the push-pull, players pull the ball back with the sole of the foot and then push the ball away from the body with the laces and the instep. A key to this move is balance, because it will help the players with accelerating to the ball after they push it away with the laces. When players get comfortable performing the push-pull with their dominant foot, they can then try alternating feet. All of these basic footwork drills are great for learning ball control. 7. Heel. Heel is similar to the foundation move. However, in this drill, players rock the ball back and forth between their legs with the heels of their feet. Therefore, players will get comfortable controlling the ball with all surfaces of the foot, which will eventually help with accelerating away from a defender as well as changing the pace of the game. All of these footwork drills have a secondary benefit. They're great for conditioning players into shape. 8. Sole of foot. In the sole of foot, players roll the ball forward with the sole of their foot. The ball should always be rolling in this drill. Players can either do this move with just their dominant foot or by alternating feet, depending on the ages and skill levels of the players. Their head should not be looking at the ground. They should be able to see the whole field when performing any of these moves, in order to see where they are in relation to their defenders as well as their teammates. 9. Triangle. The triangle combines the push-pull and the foundation move. In the triangle, players pull the ball back into their body with the sole of their starting foot. Then they tap the ball over to the opposite foot with the inside part of the starting foot. Lastly, they tap the ball back to the starting foot with the inside part of the opposite foot. The ball should move under the body in a triangle shape. For more experienced players, this drill can be attempted backwards. This is much harder to do and requires better ball control. Triangle can also be done laterally. This is a great move for dodging defenders and maintaining possession of the ball. 10. Squirt. Squirt combines the sole of the foot and the drag move. In this drill, the player steps on the outside of the ball to squirt it over to the other foot. The move is repeated continuously with both feet. It is important that the ball does not stray too far away from the player's body when performing any of these moves, because the player is then vulnerable to a steal. The squirt can also be done backwards for more experienced players. Repetition is the key to success and will lead to better ball control, which will ultimately lead to a greater time of possession and more scoring opportunities. Squirt is another move that can be attempted laterally or side to side. 11. Inside out. Inside out is another popular offensive move, and it can be practiced individually or as a team. In this move, a player taps the ball with the inside of the foot across the body to the other foot. The player then taps the ball with the outside of that foot before starting the move all over again, but this time starting with the inside of the opposite foot. The player should alternate tapping inside and outside while alternating feet. This move develops 1. Quickness with both feet, 2. Balance, 3. Change of direction, and 4. Ball control while using different surfaces of the foot. Again, more experienced players can attempt this drill backwards. 12. The U. The U is similar to the triangle. However, in this move, the ball follows more of a U-shaped pattern than a triangle pattern. Whereas with the triangle, only one foot rolls the ball with the sole, the U involves both feet pulling the ball back with the soles of the feet. Concentration is key when performing these drills. However, these drills will eventually need to be second nature to the players, because in games, there will be no time to set up for the move and even less time to think about every step of the movement. 13. Roll-up. This is a great move for accelerating past a defender. In this drill, the player rolls the ball up into the body with the sole of the foot, and then pushes the ball away from the body and a few yards ahead with the laces of the same foot. This offensive move is an introduction to the hesitation dribbles category, which will be discussed later in this video. Roll-up is one of the best, most elementary moves for faking out a defender. 14. Tap, tap, stop. Tap, tap, stop is similar to the first basic footwork skill we illustrated in this video, the foundation. However, in this drill, there's a slight hesitation to the move. The player taps left, taps right, and then stops the ball by placing his left foot on top of the ball. He then taps right, taps left, and then stops the ball by placing his right foot on top of the ball. Tap, tap, stop. Tap, tap, stop. Even if players never have an opportunity to try any of these moves in a game, practicing them will at least get them comfortable with doing almost anything when in possession of the ball. Change of direction. 15. 90-degree turns. Right foot, turn right. Changing direction with the ball is important for creating passing and scoring opportunities in games, and making abrupt turns to shake defenders and create open space should be practiced just as much as basic footwork skills. Players must realize that the best route to the net is not necessarily a straight line, and oftentimes youth soccer athletes think that the best way to get past a defender is to dribble right through him. Practicing changes of direction emphasizes the importance of using the whole field. In this drill, players pull the ball back with their right foot and then tap the ball with the same foot 90 degrees to the right in order to dribble in another direction. 16. 90-degree turns, right foot, turn left. This drill is similar to the previous drill. However, here, players pull the ball back with their right foot and turn 90 degrees to the left. Players must be comfortable turning to both their dominant and weak side in games. Players must always dribble with their heads up. Changing directions builds speed and quickness with turn control. When turning to juke out a defender, try to be deceptive. Do not give away the change in direction. Practice making the turn at the last second. 17. 90-degree turns. Pull back right foot, kick left. This 90-degree turn utilizes both feet at the point of turning, which adds an extra bit of deception to the change of direction. When players reach the cone, they pull the ball back with their right foot and then take the ball at a 90-degree turn to the left with the left foot. By continuously dribbling around in a square, the players will get in a lot of repetitions of 90-degree turns in a short period of time and in a confined space. (18) 180-degree turns. Pull back right, dribble left. Another type of change of direction are the 180-degree turns, whereby the players make a complete turn and dribble back to where they started. In this drill, players pull the ball behind them with the right foot, spin around, and then dribble the ball back to the end of the line with the left foot. Turns have to be short, quick, and compact in order to maintain possession of the ball. Balance and proper footwork are essential. 19. 180-degree turns, same outside foot. This drill teaches the players to dribble with only the outside of the foot, which is important when trying to shield defenders from the ball while on the move. Players must make sure they maintain the ball on the outside of their foot when making the 180-degree turn. This drill conditions the players to get comfortable with the feel of the ball on a different part of the foot. More experienced players can dribble on the outside of their weaker foot because a player who can dribble with both feet are doubly dangerous in games and much harder to defend. 20. 270-degree pullback. The final types of change of directions are 270-degree turns. The first 270-degree turn occurs when players pull the ball back behind the body and tap the ball behind the opposite leg to change direction. It's easy for players to get tangled up with the ball. Beginning players may want to take it slowly and then increase speed with increased comfort. Coaches can also have their players turn to both sides in order to strengthen ball control with both feet. 21. Step over and turn. In this change of directions drill, we take the step over footwork skill learned in the previous basic footwork section and apply it to change of directions. Players dribble up to a cone, step over the ball with the near foot, turn around, and dribble back to the end of the line with the opposite foot. Most of the footwork skills addressed earlier can be applied to change in direction drills. The step over is one very important example. 22. The Goringa.
Step on it, step off it, and then pull and roll, all right? Just a little, off it, roll it, and dribble to Marty. That's it.
This move is named after a Hall of Fame Brazilian soccer player who in the late 50s and early 60s invented this move. In this move, it is key for the ball to be an extension of the player's body. In this change of direction, the player steps on the ball, steps off the ball, and then spins around as he pulls the ball in another direction with the other foot. This is an advanced footwork skill. Players should not get down on themselves if they cannot master it in one practice. Remember to always keep your head up for peripheral vision. 23. Johann Kreif. Another member of the International Soccer Hall of Fame, Johann Kreif dominated soccer as a member of the Holland team in the 70s and was the father of this move. In this move, players make like they are going to cross the ball, and then at the last second, they pull the ball back behind the opposite leg and change directions. The Kreif is a great deceptive offensive move. It is crucial for the offensive player to sell the cross so that the defender can be off balance. 24. Matthews. In this change of directions drill, the player pulls the ball across his body with the inside of his foot and then explodes in the opposite direction by pushing the ball back outward with the outside of the same foot. This fake can only be effective if the player stays over the ball throughout the entire move. The offensive player must appear like he is pulling the ball into his body and taking it in that direction, so he can then fool the defender when he explodes the opposite way. 25. Pukas. International Soccer Hall of Famer Ferenc Pukas invented this move when he played for Hungary in the 50s and Spain in the 60s. In this move, the player makes it look like he's going to pass the ball across his body. However, as the foot rolls across the top of the ball, the player pulls the ball back with the sole of the foot and changes directions. It is very important to stay over the ball, sell the move, maintain proper balance, and build speed when changing directions. 26. Maradona. Named after Argentinian native soccer superstar Diego Maradona, this move is great for changing directions in the face of an oncoming defender. The dribbler steps on top of the ball, spins around using the ball as a pivot, and then takes the ball with the opposite foot in another direction. The Maradona is great for building confidence with the ball. Lateral movement. 27. Rollover. Besides basic footwork skills and change of direction, another very important element of dribbling is lateral movements. Working the ball from side to side is just as useful for creating scoring opportunities as moving the ball down the field. Many of the same footwork skills illustrated in the first segment of this video can be applied to lateral movements. However, they are a little harder to do as lateral movements, and it is important to master the moves first normally before trying them laterally. This particular lateral movement is the rollover. In this move, the player pushes the ball from side to side with the sole of the foot. 28. Rollover tap. This is similar to the previous lateral movement drill. However, after 2 rollovers to the right, The player stops the ball by tapping it with the foot before reversing directions. This adds a slight hesitation and a method for changing directions, which helps in deceiving defenders. In all of these moves, players are encouraged to pace themselves and increase speed and quickness when they're comfortable. 29. Scissor. Earlier, we saw the scissor performed as a basic footwork skill practiced while moving forward. Here, the drill is performed laterally, which provides more realistic game-like situations because the move works best when moving laterally to shake a defender. Again, in this move, a player sweeps the foot nearest to the ball over and around the front of the ball as if cutting the grass, and then taps the ball away from the body with the outside of the opposite foot to reverse directions. If players are having a hard time doing the scissor laterally, then they should continue working at the move first on a stationary ball, and then while dribbling forward before progressing to lateral movements. 30. Double scissors. This is a progression of the previous drill. Instead of reversing directions after the initial scissor, the player instead scissors the ball with the opposite foot and continues in the lateral direction he was originally going. If executed correctly, the double scissor lateral movement can be extremely deceptive. Players should be looking up when performing all of these drills, and should be faking their body in the opposite direction in which they're headed to add more trickery to the move. 31. Step over. This was another basic footwork skill already illustrated that also works effectively as a lateral movement. The step over is similar to the scissor move. However, the player steps over the ball with the far foot. Players must stay over the ball and maintain possession at all times. In games, players should not have to think about any of these moves when they're doing them. It should become second nature. This can only be accomplished if these moves are addressed repetitively in practice. 32. Double step over. This is a variation of the previous skill. However, in this drill, there are 2 step overs. Make sure players use the foot farthest away from the ball to step over the ball. Like the double scissors, the double step over is a momentary hesitation and a fake back in the opposite direction before continuing laterally. The more comfortable the player gets with the move, the more deceptive he will be. 33. Stop and scissor. This is a variation to all of the previous scissor moves. Instead of doing a scissor on a moving ball, the player stops the ball, scissors, and then continues moving laterally. This adds hesitation and deception to the move. If these moves are practiced on a regular basis, coaches will notice a stark improvement in the player's overall ball control, even on the most basic scenarios, like dribbling and passing. 34. Seesaw.
Tap, tap, drag it back, and then...
The seesaw is like the drag move illustrated earlier, with an additional explosion of lateral movement at the end of the move. The player taps the ball twice on the outside of the lead foot, and then rocks the ball between his legs before pushing the ball back laterally. Coaches can place a shadow defender in front of the 2 cones to mirror the offensive player in order to add more realistic game situations to the drill. 35. Step over and scissor. This lateral movement combines the step over and the scissor move. Only one leg should be used in this drill. When doing the step over, players should use the leg farthest from the ball to step over the ball. And when doing the scissor, players should use the leg closest to the ball to scissor over the ball. If done properly, it should be the same leg, because once the player steps over the ball with the far leg, that leg now becomes the leg closest to the ball, and that is the leg the player is supposed to then scissor with. This move could get confusing. Players are encouraged to slowly build speed when practicing it. Any of the basic footwork skills illustrated earlier can be applied to the lateral movement section. These are just a few examples. Coaches are encouraged to choose the footwork moves that are most appropriate for their team. Hesitation dribble. 36. Fake heel. Hesitation dribbles are another highly effective method of exploding past a defender. The key to all of these hesitation dribbles is for the player to fake like he's going to stop or change direction, and then blow right past the defender. The basic footwork touches illustrated earlier with the heel of the foot will be beneficial for this fake heel hesitation dribble. In this drill, the player puts his foot over the ball as if he's going to stop it from rolling forward, and then explodes forward by pushing the ball ahead with the same foot. The fake stop is crucial to selling the move. (37) Swivel. The swivel is another hesitation dribble. As the player dribbles forward, he places his foot on the moving ball, turns in or swivels slightly like he's about to change directions, and then takes the ball forward with the opposite foot. The players really have to swing the hips during the swivel to sell the move. Again, after players are comfortable with this move, coaches can have them try it on their weaker foot. Coaches can also add defenders to simulate more realistic game situations. 38. Draw. The draw is similar to the push-pull basic footwork move illustrated earlier. In this hesitation dribble, the player pulls the ball back into the body, hesitates momentarily, and then pushes it away with the other foot. It's all about keeping the defenders off balance, and these hesitation dribbles help accomplish that. Balance and ball control cannot be overstressed. 39. Sole of foot. Sole of foot is another basic footwork skill that can be applied to both lateral movements and hesitation dribbles. In this hesitation dribble drill, players rock the ball back and forth under their feet, on their soles, before pushing the ball forward. Rolling the ball on the soles of the feet adds a slight hesitation to the dribble that can catch a defender off guard. 40. Heel pop. In the heel pop, players heel the ball back to the opposite foot and then immediately tap the ball forward. Teams should work off of the foundation heel dribbles before building up to the hesitation heel pop. It's important for players to be comfortable touching the ball with all parts of the foot, including the sole of the foot and the heel, and they should be practiced often. Repetition is the key to success. 41. Double chop. In the double chop, players chop the ball as if going back the way they came from, and then quickly turn around and chop the ball back forward. Players must sell the hesitation and must make it look like they're going to change directions or stop in order for the move to work correctly. Keeping the ball close to the body is important for maintaining possession during the move. 42. Inside-out chop. This is a variation of the previous drill. In this drill, however, the player chops the ball with the same foot, first with the inside of the foot and then with the outside. The first chop is backwards. The second chop is forwards, thus creating a slight hesitation in the dribble. When chopping the ball, players must not kick the ball too far away from the body. Players should not have to chase after their balls and give defenders an opportunity for a steal. 1v1 against a defender. 43. Inside out with shot. In this 1v1 segment, we see how many of the footwork skills, lateral movements, and hesitation dribbles illustrated earlier are applied in game situations with defenders. Adding a defender, even if it's only a passive defender, forces the player to really sell the move to beat the defender. In this drill, the offensive player performs the inside-out move to shake the defender and get off a shot. If executed correctly, the defender will be leaning the wrong way and be off balance. 44. Scissor with shot. Illustrated earlier were scissor moves done normally, laterally, and combined with other moves, such as the step over. Here we see how the scissor move is executed in front of a defender. The move must be done quickly in order to get a clear shot at the goal. 45. Drag with shot. This drill illustrates how changing direction laterally can fake a defender. Faking with the body and dragging the ball in the opposite direction can lead to a lot of scoring chances. 46. Rollover with shot. Before players attempt this drill on net with a defender, coaches can divide the team into two lines facing one another. The first two players dribble toward one another, and when they meet, they perform a rollover to avoid collision. This simulates going against a defender and increases repetitions. When comfortable, the players can shift to facing a defender. Rollover is a great lateral move that keeps defenders off guard. 47. Fake a crossbody with shot. This is a 1v1 exercise that allows players to do whatever move they want upon approaching the defender, as long as they fake one way with their body. This forces players to understand the importance of deception. No matter what move the players decide to do, they must stay over the ball and keep their head up. 48. Matthews with shot. In this drill, we see how the hesitation dribble, Matthews, can force a defender to commit the wrong way. When performing the Matthews, the player pulls the ball across his body with the inside of his foot and then explodes in the opposite direction by pushing the ball back outward with the outside of the same foot. 49. Goringa with shot. This drill illustrates how changing directions can keep a defender off balance. When performing the Goringa, the player steps on the ball, steps off the ball, and then spins around as he pulls the ball in another direction with the other foot. After the offensive player shoots, he takes the place of the defender, and the defender returns to the end of the shooting line. This increases repetitions. If the offensive player cannot keep the ball right under his feet while performing the Goringa, then he'll have a hard time maintaining possession of the ball. 50. Step over with shot. If a player can get the defender to commit laterally the wrong way with one of the lateral movements illustrated earlier, such as the step over, then an opening is created for a shot on goal. Coaches can decide whether they want their defenders to really try to steal the ball from the offensive player or just shadow the ball and be in the way. Players can also alternate moving laterally to their dominant shooting side and to their weak shooting side. 51. 270 with shot. This is another change of direction move that's useful for getting past a defender. Here, players pull the ball back behind the body and tap the ball behind the opposite leg to change direction and avoid the defender. It's important for players to put their body between the ball and the defender to shield from any steal opportunities. 52. Sole of foot with shot. This is a hesitation dribble that can be really effective for exploding past a defender while catching him off balance. Players love drills that are competitive. Coaches can make any one of these shooting drills into a game. Any player who successfully performs the move, shakes the defender, and scores is awarded a point. The first player with 5 points wins the game. Always make sure to alternate defenders. Coaches can act as a passive defender if players are still uncomfortable with the move. 53. Double chop with shot. In the double chop with shot drill, Players must fake as if turning away from the goal looking to pass the ball, and then quickly chop back to the goal for the shot. Selling the fake makes or breaks the success rate of the move. Any of the footwork drills can be done on goal with a defender. These are just a few examples. Tailor your practice with the moves you feel are the best fit for your team. Here is a quick review of some of the footwork skills illustrated earlier that can be practiced by oneself. Foundation. Alternating touches. Scissor. Step over. Drag. Push-pull. Heel. Sole of foot. Triangle. Squirt. Inside out. U. Tap, tap, stop. Soccer is one of the most popular youth participant sports in the world today. Developing many of the individual fast footwork soccer skills at a young age can increase confidence and improve ball control for higher levels of play. Soccer fast footwork drills illustrates many of the skills and techniques of the game. By combining fun with these fast footwork drills, players will always be stimulated by soccer while learning the basic but necessary skills of the game. Now, let's take out our soccer balls, practice our footwork, and score!